This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Oh, wow. I'm going to do that over. Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. Today, we're here to talk about the ICE raids nationwide, and in particular in Minnesota, as well as how the population at large is responding to these raids. I'm here with my co-host, as always, the Honorable Dion Powell.
Hey family, how you doing? I'm District Leader Dion Powell out of the Bronx Conservative Party. Like the man said, I'm America first, and borderline America only. So look that one up of the MAGA side of the family. So here we are. I'm a strategist, consultant, and community organizer.
Okay, so let's get started. Lots happening in Minnesota. We're going to be discussing it frequently and diligently as the things around it is increasing. The turmoil. I feel like this is a practice. I feel like they're going to try and see what can happen in Minnesota. And as it increases, take it to other states. I feel like looking at pure numbers, the number of immigrants in Minnesota doesn't warrant the attack Minnesota's had when they can attack other cities. Let's say, I don't know, for instance, New York, if you're looking for really just they're looking for immigrants, or California. But no, they went after a Midwestern state, Minnesota, and they're practicing what they want to do on Americans, is what it appears to me, where they can go in and control a population through fear tactics, almost like Hitler did. Why that's important? Because if they can go in and control the population, they can scare you away from the voting polls. They can come and confiscate votes. Trump is even talking about taking votes away. I believe Minnesota is the testing grounds to eliminate elections. But what do you feel about that?
All scare tactics. The people have fatigue enough to actually not believe or pay attention to. This Hitler-esque, Nazi-esque, totalitarian, oligarchy, all these wonderful big magical words are no longer working. A lot of people are like, change the channel. This is BS. And that's how I feel about that. And so far, Trump officially, as of January 20th, makes 1 year in office. And still, we're not all under martial law or have the mark of the beast in the back of our foreheads and all those wonderful things. So the sky's falling is no longer working. Leo, keep it moving.
Hey, everybody. This is your boy, Leo. You know me. I've been doing commercials for 15 years, television commercials, radio ads, billboards. Now I'm trying to step it into the big leagues. I want to be an independent filmmaker. I've got the degrees, I've got the experience, and I need your help to make my first independent film, Garrote. So Garrote is Boys in the Hood meets Clue. So these dudes from Brooklyn is trying to buy their drugs to supply the hood. So they go to the mafia stronghold and they purchase their drugs, but one of them turns up dead. And now there's a race to find out who did it. The Godfather's going to send in his hit squad, Squadra Assassina, to take them out. They don't figure out who did it because somebody died on his turf and he's not happy and he can't have stuff like that happening in his business. So please, if you want to show support, my Kickstarter campaign is down in the description box. You know, maybe I should give up then. Oh, wait, maybe I should just pay attention to the news. Let's take what Fox News has to say about the way the world's receiving ICE right now. Let's see what Fox News has to say about it. They're as far right as you can go.
A new poll shows 57% disapprove of the way ICE is enforcing immigration laws. Ron Vitiello is a senior advisor for Customs and Border Protection. He joins me now. How can you turn around this very bad PR situation for the administration?
It's an interesting question. I think what we have to recognize is that for the 4 years under Joe Biden, all Americans were upset and very concerned about what was happening at the southwest border. And during that time, official government records said 11 million people came into the country and were encountered by authorities. That means about double that came into the country illegally. And so when I traveled the state during that time before the campaign, when the president was running saying he was going to secure the border, and start the largest deportation effort we've ever seen. I reminded people how mad they were at the moment when the border was out of control, because we'd have to remember how angry we were to see the border in such chaos, and that we were all going to be affected by it. And now that these operations are underway, some people are starting to lose their nerve. This is the way the law works. What the front line is doing at ICE and CBP in the interior of the United States is making up for that tragedy and that risk, and trying to reduce that and take these criminal illegal aliens off the streets of our cities.
Because it's working. Over 400,000 criminals taken out of America, 2.5 million overall deported or self-deported. And this is a...
You heard those last statistics, Leo? You heard?
Yes, actually, I want to bring those statistics up. Actually, I'm glad you said that. Let's talk about those statistics. So 400,000 criminals were deported. So if 2.5 million people were deported or self-deported, that means only 1 in 5 people were criminals that are being deported. So the chaos that we were looking at in the streets is on Fox News as this was being discussed. Only 1 in 5 people being deported, being targeted and taken off the streets, kidnapped, sent off to internment camps, or put on flights to jails in other countries. Only 1 in 5 of them are criminals. That means 20%. That's almost like his approval rating right now. That means most people that are being deported are not criminals. By 1 in 5 are not, 4 in 5 are not criminals. So if he deports every 5 people that get deported, one of them is not, only one of them is a criminal and 4 of them are not criminals. So is that possibly the reason that ICE is getting such a bad rap? They're doing all these horrific, terrible things, and they're not really deporting the worst of the worst?
No, it's because
those are Fox numbers.
You got you to let me answer the question. Maybe we should just listen to Trust Fox. All right, which I know you're not going to do. So basically, it's because the imagery and videos, the 8-second sound bites and clips are played on loop through the mainstream media and also social media through certain activists. However, people are starting to see through this because now they are respecting history, and they see that Tom Homan, the border czar, actually was given an award by President Obama for such good work back in that heyday. In addition to that, you're listening to the self-deportation numbers. So all this other stuff and hysteria over illegals, people might not like to see how the sausage is made, but they're liking the end taste.
I don't think people are liking seeing the images that we were watching on Fox propaganda news. Even they can't help but show what's happening because it's in such mass. I don't think American people are enjoying it. I don't believe you. I don't believe that. I don't think Fox believes that. If they say there's a 57% disapproval rate, that means that Trump's strongest, biggest category that he was doing the best in, the one thing that Trump was getting props for, he was getting props for 2 things. Then it was the economy. So since the economy was squashed, the only thing he had left that he was getting any love for throughout this country was immigration. And he's way, way down. Do you think that maybe it's because people are looking and not seeing or not liking what they're seeing? Do you think maybe people are like, why all of that in Minnesota when there's not a large immigrant population there? Why do you think that he wants to terrorize people? That looked like a damn war zone. That doesn't look like a city. It looked like something you would see on footage on Fox that's going on in Iraq. It really did. Can you deny that? Can you deny that honestly?
Yes, I can. Because again, it's focusing on certain instances and playing it on loop. However, because there's so much concern from the activist groups that protest for sake of protesting, you're going to get more people there being upset at, rightfully so, a killing, because that always stokes fire in people's emotions and feelings.
So just to bring everybody up to speed, there was a young lady named Renee Good who was unalived by Jonathan Roth, a veteran ICE officer. He's actually somebody who trains them. The excuse was that she was trying to attack him with a car, but the unfortunate circumstances, even the examination of her body, which we might call an autopsy, revealed that she was shot from the side, not the front. And in order to be shot from the side, he could not have been in front of a moving toy. He could not have been in front of her. So she was not aiming at him with the car. So he shot her point blank multiple times, one time even in the face, at point blank range, and unalived Renee Good. So with that being stated, so that the world can understand what you're speaking about, please continue.
I lost my trail of thought there, but yes, it's unfortunate what happened to her. And there are more protests happening. But the thing about it is the mayor, the governor, the elected officials, all these people have to be held into account for using such language like yourself, really amp and scare people up for these kind of endeavors. And that's what's happening.
I'm not amping anything up. I'm not trying to use scare tactics. I'm looking with my eyes and using the words. See, here's how education works. The more words you know, the more you can see. The more that you can explain, the better you can communicate. It starts with understanding words with knowing words. MAGA likes to pretend words aren't important, but the truth of the matter is words are how we understand the environment around us, is how we communicate. When I'm looking at the footage that the news station that is cheering for Trump and telling everybody how good ICE is showing, the footage that Fox News themselves are showing while they're talking about this, it is horrific. It looks like a war zone. If I played you video from, I don't know, Iraq during the war, it would look exactly the same. You wouldn't be able to tell you were not in America or were in America. It looked like a war zone, like the footage from ICE. This is horrific. You say that, but you know what? I know you. I've seen you do this in the past. You'll protect something, and then when it strikes home and you see for real what it is, you'll change your tune. If you go outside your door and see this, I promise you, your tune will change.
Our point is that there was not this much media attention when Tom Homan was doing it on the President Barack Obama.
Nobody has ever done this in American history. There's never been anything like this on American soil, except for maybe when the land was taken from the natives. That's it. There's never been any police action like this, ever. But we've heard both arguments, you've heard both sides. The approval ratings on this are in the toilet. Trump is underwater on every category in existence. A 57% negative rate amongst Americans is where he stands, according to his biggest cheerleaders. Any closing arguments here? Any closing thoughts?
Well, this is why we are the media and now so are you. So make sure the algorithm pays attention to us by sharing this content.
Get the real news here. Get the real news here. That's it. Thank you for coming. Dion, Leo, signing out.